Picture this, a massive cube draped in black silk, sitting in the heart of the Arabian desert. Around it, a river of humanity flows counterclockwise, thousands upon thousands of people, moving as one. They come from Jakarta and Istanbul, from Lagos and London. Different languages, different skin tones. But in this moment, they are synchronized, 7 times around, always counterclockwise, always toward the same center. This is the Tawaf, one of the most visually striking rituals on Earth. But why? Why do nearly 2 million people every year travel to this specific spot to walk in circles around a building? Let's unpack the history, the symbolism, and the science behind this ancient practice. The ritual we're discussing is called Tawaf, which in Arabic literally means to go around. It is a required act of worship during both the Hajj pilgrimage and the year-round Umrah. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, an average of 2.2 million pilgrims performed Hajj annually. In 2024, that number reached 1.83 million. For context, that's roughly the population of Philadelphia, converging on a single religious site over the span of a few days. The Kaaba itself is a cube-shaped structure approximately 13 meters high, located inside the Grand Mosque complex in Mecca. Pilgrims circle it 7 times in a counterclockwise direction. The first 3 circuits are traditionally performed at a brisk pace on the outer part of the circling area, called the mataf, while the final 4 are done at a more leisurely pace closer to the structure itself. But this isn't a modern invention. To understand why Muslims do this, we need to go back, way back, to the foundations of the Abrahamic tradition. According to Islamic tradition, the Kaaba was originally constructed by the prophet Abraham, known in Arabic as Ibrahim, and his son Ishmael, or Ismail. The Quran states that God showed Abraham the exact location for the structure near the well of Zamzam. Islamic scholars have traditionally dated this construction to approximately 2130 BC, which would make the Kaaba older than Solomon's temple in Jerusalem. Islamic tradition further holds that during construction, an angel delivered the black stone, a dark fragmented rock now set in a silver frame in the eastern corner of the Kaaba. Believers regard this stone as a celestial object, possibly a meteorite, though it has never been scientifically analyzed due to its sacred status. It's important to distinguish between religious tradition and archaeological evidence. Historians debate the exact origins of Mecca and the Kaaba. Some classical sources, such as references attributed to the Greek historian Diodorus Siculus, writing in the 1st century BC, have been cited as mentioning a sacred temple in the Arabian Peninsula. However, the archaeological record for pre-Islamic Mecca remains sparse, in part because excavation is prohibited on sacred ground. So why the circling? What does it mean? At the heart of Islamic theology is a concept called Tawhid, the absolute oneness and unity of God. Believers hold that just as there is one God, there must be one center toward which all worship is directed. The Kaaba serves as that center. The act of Tawaf embodies this principle. Pilgrims from every nation, speaking different languages and wearing the same simple white garments, move in unison around a single point. In this ritual, there are no hierarchies of wealth or status. A head of state walks shoulder to shoulder with a farmer. One scholar described the Kaaba as the citadel of Tawhid, where the oneness of God is reflected in the oneness of the worshiping community. Now here's where things get poetic, and where we must be very careful to separate theological doctrine from symbolic analogy. Some Islamic scholars and commentators have drawn parallels between the counterclockwise circling of the Kaaba and the motion of celestial bodies. The Quran mentions that the sun, moon, and planets each move in an orbit. Observers have noted that when viewed from Earth's northern hemisphere, stars appear to rotate counterclockwise around the North Star. This has led to the poetic interpretation that pilgrims, by circling the Kaaba counterclockwise, are symbolically aligning themselves with the natural order of creation. It's a beautiful metaphor, but it's important to note that this is an analogy, not a scientific claim. The direction of Tawaf is understood by Muslims as a practice established by Abraham and followed by the Prophet Muhammad, regardless of its cosmic symbolism. Other explanations exist as well. One tradition suggests that because the heart is positioned slightly to the left side of the body, moving counterclockwise allows the heart to be oriented closer to the Kaaba, a symbolic expression of devotion. Still others point out the practical necessity. When millions of people are moving in the same space, a single direction prevents chaos and ensures safety. Let's talk logistics. How do you safely accommodate over 100,000 people per hour circling a single building? The Saudi government has invested billions in expanding the Grand Mosque and the Mataf, the circling area around the Kaaba. The most recent expansion project, completed in early 2025, increased capacity to 107,000 pilgrims per hour. That's a 10,000-person increase from previous years. Computer simulations and crowd analytics have been used to optimize the flow of worshipers. Engineers have added multiple levels to the mosque, improved access and egress points, and implemented AI-driven monitoring systems to detect congestion in real time. About 14% of the capacity increase came from improvements to existing infrastructure, 18% from expanding the Tawaf area, 50% from adding new space, and 21% from operational flow control. The result? Average density dropped from 7 people per square meter to just 4, a significant improvement in both safety and comfort. Here's a fascinating detail. Mecca's summer temperatures regularly exceed 45 degrees Celsius. That's over 113 Fahrenheit. Yet pilgrims walk barefoot on the Mataf floor. How is that possible? The answer lies in the marble. Saudi Arabia imports Thassos marble from Greece, possibly the largest surface application of this stone anywhere in the world. Thassos marble is crystal white, composed of dolomite-rich crystals that form in 2mm sheets. Its unique properties include high reflectivity, minimal porosity, and increased thermal conductivity. During the night, the marble absorbs moisture through microscopic pores. During the day, it releases that moisture, creating a cooling effect. Even in searing heat, the surface remains remarkably cool underfoot. It's been called smart marble, a natural engineering solution to an environmental challenge. So, why do Muslims circle the Kaaba? On one level, it's an act of obedience, a practice believed to have been established by Abraham and reaffirmed by the Prophet Muhammad. On another level, it's a ritual of unity, where millions of individuals dissolve into a collective expression of faith. It's also a testament to human ingenuity, how ancient tradition and modern engineering come together to create one of the most logistically complex religious gatherings on the planet. But perhaps most fundamentally, the Tawaf is a physical manifestation of a theological idea that all paths, all people, all prayers ultimately revolve around a single center. Not the stone cube itself, but what it represents. As the German-American scholar Ismail Raji al-Faruqi once noted, the Kaaba is an inseparable component of Muslims' ontological and existential worldviews. It is where the visible and invisible intersect, where the earthly and the divine meet. Whether you're a believer or an observer, there's something undeniably powerful about watching that endless human river flow, counterclockwise 7 times around the same ancient center.